gonna find it. I know I'm gonna find the place. Yep. So I'm talking about it, and Julian's like, oh, well, I have another store if you want to use that. I'm like, bro, yes. So how long I've known of you, and then being like a friend now and playing shows together and stuff.
Right.
It's really been so sick, and we've talked about it in the past. My first time seeing you had to have been in late 2018, early 2019. Immediately was like captivated by your stage presence and your style, and thinking like, not in a negative way, but just thinking like, oh my God, this dude is like such a superstar, bro. Yeah. Like I can't imagine this getting any better. And then to have watched you continue to elevate, the shows get like the stage presence just gets crazier and crazier.
That's the goal, bro.
It's been so sick, man.
Yeah.
So I know that you have been at it for a long time, making music and performing. What is something that like you would, and there might be a few, but what is something that you look back on and you're like, man, like that's a highlight of everything? And like I said, there might be a few.
Yeah.
But what would you say is one standout that you're just like, man, like I love that I was able to do that?
Is that within like anything music, like as far as like the music goes, or something?
Yeah, I would say just like in the evolution of 3 a.m. From when you first started making music to now, what is like one thing that you carry with you that you were able to accomplish, or something that was just a cool experience and you're like, man, like I will hold that with me?
Oh man, that's, you like you said, you was like there may be many.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm gonna go, since this is all natural. I'm gonna go with the first thing that comes to my head.
Yeah, bro.
Right. So, I'll say being able to put together a band and play with a band and being able to execute that, and just going from how I used to perform and to where I'm at now, as far as like being on stage right there, is like that's the whole moment for me. Like even performing, like that's just those are the time where I can let loose. I feel like just being able to zone out and escape from the thoughts that we have now in our natural state.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And like I use those as my escape moments, and I feel like performing, man, is fire. And just, I know we talking about a specific moment, but if we talk about a specific moment, I'm gonna just say like being able to play with this band and being able to vibe out and just rock out, bro.
For sure, because from like a consumer standpoint, it is like very much your own thing.
Right.
It's very unique to you. Like, and I think people get that sense because you've been able to create something that like you don't see everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, you see bands play, you see rappers perform with bands, but there's something very specific to a 3 a.m. set that you don't really see a whole lot of.
Right.
And I know the challenges of finding a band. Everybody they gig, they have families, they have kids.
For sure.
And it is really hard. So I feel that, and that definitely is an accomplishment to be proud of. To like have guys that rock with you, that enjoy playing with you.
It's the people that rocks with you, man. Like that plays a major part.
Facts.
So.
Yeah, that's so tough too, especially like I think one of my. So I have a lot of favorite things that you do on stage, but one that I really enjoy is like when you and Kevin, you'll take the cover to the Shot You Down, and then it transitions into one of your originals, and that is like so cool because one, it's an attention grabber.
Yeah.
Kevin starts playing those chords, everybody knows them.
Yeah.
And then you kind of tweak the lyrics to fit you,
right?
And then it goes into an original, and as a consumer, you're just like, "What is happening, bro?"
I'm all about transitions too. Like that's one thing. Like when I'm playing my mixes together at the crib, I'm focused. gotta hit, bro. Like,
Yeah.
it's just something about that. But originally, that song, the reason why we started doing that song like that, because the original track, I I had the, that's how I did it on the tape. Like I had the actual, boom, 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 but so like now adding it to the set as far as like live, I think that was like one clever, something clever to do instead of like having the actual track. I'm like, wait, Cam can play this.
Yeah.
Like, wait, utilize that. So it's like,
For sure,
why
and it's
not?
definitely a standout when you have the guitarist
Yeah.
and it's just that sound.
Yeah.
And everybody knows what's about to happen, and then you drop it on them, and
Yeah.
it's just like, it's such a cool moment from a consumer standpoint
Yeah.
to watch that. And that's one thing, I'm glad you said that, because that is one thing that does stand out in your sets is the transitions.
Yeah.
It's never, and that's something that I fall into is like, there are times where the track ends and there's a dead space before the next one.
For sure.
But there is something to be said about seamlessness.
Yeah.
You know, being able to blend from one to the other so that the audience never loses that high of like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm watching this happen.
Right. Making sure I have like an intro so I can actually talk instead of it just being, because I'm socially awkward. Like I can't. That's just me. Like
It's tough
if I'm
out
just
here,
cutting
bro.
Out, I know, right? Like if I just cut it, and go straight off. I'm like, so trying to introduce this next track. I'm like, nah, I gotta find a cooler way to do this because trying to explain the track is not. So I don't know, man.
Facts. I think that's like one thing in like, you know, being a legitimate creative, but also just doing it well.
Yeah.
Is like, you know, your strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
So how do we capitalize on the strengths and make the weaknesses not even cross
Valid,
anybody's
right.
mind?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's so sick, bro. So how long have you been making music?
Okay.
And at what point, you know, was it always the goal? Was it something you were just kind of like, well, let me see if I can do this?
Bro, so I think it was like, it wasn't let me try, because I've always been around it, right? So like my dad does music, so
Fire.
already there, even though I wasn't aware that I'll be doing music as like a kid, because you know I would hear him rap, and you know what I'm saying, or he'll have us read raps off of paper, you know what I'm saying, like some of his raps, but that wasn't my interest at the time, right? So like growing up, and I'm like, okay, you know, my aunt scenes, I'm like, all right, dang, like that's fire too. So then, you know, I think around like middle school, my mom, she ended up marrying a producer, and they, you know, we moved in with him, and he would be in the next room rocking out with banging out, like they had a compilation album, like he had a group of rappers that would come over there and be in the next room, like things that we doing now, but me and my brother would be in the next room playing the game, and it's like, you know, learning the songs, because we became fans of the songs just because it was, you know, being made in the crib, but not understanding like what's really going on, or you know what I'm saying, or thinking of it even shaping us. Like I'm sitting here playing Crash on the game or something. I just know the songs, but I'm good. I don't know if I'm going to do music.
Yeah.
So you know, growing up through then, I started naturally adapting to battle rap, and I would watch like the Smack DVDs and shit.
Yeah,
and like
love that.
The YouTube, like the you know, like they be in Philadelphia freestyle, like the Philly freestyles, and Cassidy and Reed Dollars and all that shit. So I was like, yo, this freestyle shit hard. So then just to skip, like graduate, like my senior year, like my pops ended up buying me some studio equipment, and I don't know, that's how that shit just took off, and bro, from then on I was just teaching myself how to record and mix and all of this stuff, and then it just grew up. I mean, and then it just happened.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So would your early style, would you say that was it always as melodic as it is now, or what was that kind of growth and transition?
Receipts, nah. So definitely no. So yeah, I would do like freestyle songs, you know, like freestyle off of industry beats. Then and then I was like, yo, I want to make my own, like my own song. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I would do a lot of industry beats or whatever. So and then I can't remember the song, but it was like my first song, and it had it was definitely before everybody was doing the tune or
Yeah, the pitch correct,
the pitch correction for sure. But it was always some type of melodic, whatever. It wasn't just as polished as it is now. But yeah, bro, like once I started adapting to that, like it became like it was rap. I would rap the verses and sing more on the hooks or stuff like that, and then I don't know, man. It just became something that I just learned how to do, well. I just meshed it all and created this melodic sound.
That's awesome, bro.
Yeah.
So did you? Okay, so let me preface this because there's a lot of people that, and I don't, not in a negative way, they just don't know. People that aren't involved in music, they look at auto-tune and pitch correct as like, well, anybody can use it, and it makes people who can't sing sound good. Did you always kind of know that you had a good voice for singing, or did it just kind of like, you just tried it one day and you were like, yo, I'm actually like kind of good at this?
So when I'm doing music, like I don't know, this was a automatic sense. I never thought like, oh, like I could sing real good. I know I knew how to harmony real good or harmonize real good or, keep a cool voice. But I feel like singing and harmonizing are kind of like completely different. Like singing is like some
like belting
some
that.
Whitney Houston type of shit, like shit like that. Like, but yeah, because I wouldn't call myself like a singer. But,
yeah.
And most people would probably like, oh no, you know how to sing, which I heard, but I was like, nah, man, I just know how to harmonize, and I can hear a sound, and I could go, I can find the key naturally when I hear a sound and a beat. Like if I'm in the studio, somebody playing a beat, I can be like, oh, that's E flat, like automatically.
Fire.
Yeah, that's something that I don't know, like it's just naturally taught myself.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, bro. So that's how pretty much, I just was like, it just worked.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, that's sick. I've definitely there's like I can't harmonize or sing, but I find little pockets here and there, and it kind of works.
That's cap too, though, no, because we had the session with down there at the House of Art. And
okay,
we was vibing out.
That's true.
You was loving how that shit sounded.
I did. It took me a minute though because that was new to me.
Yeah, no,
and I'd
sure.
almost like in my earlier stages like resisted that.
For
sure.
Like
don't put any on. Like
for
it's
for
not what I'm going for. But then when like you were telling me it's like an instrument, bro.
Yeah.
And your voice is like bending the notes.
Yeah.
And then I started playing with it in the session. I'm like, oh, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So you are 3 a.m. now. In your long journey through music, have you had other stage names, or has it always been 3 a.m.?
Oh nah, for sure. Most people would tell you, they're like, yo, no, I know Nick News. Like that was my rapper name coming into music. Like people still call me News. Like, people that listen to me then, like they be like, yo, News, what's good, News?
I didn't know that about
That's
you.
That's crazy.
I didn't know. I'm not a legitimate interviewer.
Sure.
I'm not Nardwar.
Okay.
I just
facts, exactly, right?
But that's sick.
That's not your job. No,
yeah, I love
right.
that though.
For sure. But yeah, bro, everybody's still like some people call me News, and like, but I ended up moving to California, and I did like some rebranding. I just wanted to definitely change up that name, because the way that I got the name is kind of like, it was said to me of trying to be funny, so I took it and kind of like flipped it and made it cool, and everybody started calling me that. But I didn't want that history on that, like as far as like that. I wanted something that vibe with me and that was introducing to what I was stepping into, because like I said, I moved and I did some rebranding out there, and just created this sound out there, like, because I would record at night. Like I'll be working during the day, and I just started recording at night, and like the music was crazy, like just crazy around, just late, because that was the only time I was available to record. You feel me? So, but other than that, like even at it even being 3 a.m., the number 3 has always been close to me, like, regardless. So I was like, damn, I'm making fire music at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Favorite number is 3. Like,
Yeah.
my favorite basketball player is number 3.
Fire.
Like, everything. So, I don't know. But yeah, that's how that all changed and switched and made it 3 a.m. sound. I wanted it to be, because I focused it, it's really 3 a.m. sound, because I want everybody to focus on the sound part. Like, yeah, 3 a.m. is cool, but, like, it's the sound, and it's like, it's my sound. 3 a.m. is my sound. So
100%.
yeah, that's why.
So that's cool too. I didn't know that about you. So when did you move to LA, and how long were you out there?
I didn't live in LA. I lived in San Bernardino, California.
Okay.
But I would go to LA and, do work with a couple of homies up there. But that was around like 2016. I lived there for a year and a half, and found some new inspiration, rebranded, moved back to Raleigh, and kept it hot.
So when you were like formulating that plan, or maybe it was on a whim, but was the purpose of going out there music based, and like you were like, was it a feeling of like knowing you were ready to level up, and you were like, I kind of just need to get away to cook, and then I can bring it back to?
It wasn't a getaway. It definitely was it was a situation, like some work situation type. And I was like, well, shit, I'm going to utilize it, because I got a homie that lives down here already. So, whenever I'm free, I'm about to take this 30-minute, I'm going to say an hour, because that traffic is crazy. So, I'm about to take this hour drive to L.A. and, shoot with, I don't got my brother. So, like, I, utilize the homies that I knew that was up there, and I would just go up there and make myself available and record. I had my recording stuff with me already, so I record myself. I just needed some visuals and and photos and all that. So that's how that kind of situation happened real fast.
Yeah, that's super sick. So that's one thing that I haven't done. I went away to school for about 5 years, but it was it was in the mountains of North Carolina. There wasn't a scene out there.
Yeah.
I was like one of 3 rappers I knew at the entire university. But I have been through my run of names, bro. Like I feel like especially when I was younger, I was coming up with a new stage name every year. Like
True.
But I think that's all part of it, man. You like find what works at that time.
Yeah.
You at the time I didn't have a concept of like branding and stuff like that. I just knew that this name kind of matched the sound that I was in at that time. And then once I started, growing up a little bit and starting to look at this as a business and a brand, I was like, okay, these ain't gonna work. Like,
you gotta give us one, bro.
Oh man, I'll give you the most embarrassing one.
All right.
So, when I was probably like, it was probably like 2009.
Yeah.
I had only been making music for maybe like a year, and I was like really trying to be this like lyrical miracle rapper. Yeah, like just so cringy, bro. And so I took it upon myself to call myself String Theory.
Okay.
Which is like a theory of quantum physics.
Okay.
I didn't even take chemistry in school. I was in all the remedial classes,
deep.
so I don't know how I crossed this bridge. But string theory is like a theory that physicists use, and the theory itself is like unproven.
Okay.
And
you was going, though.
I was really trying to connect the dots, bro. I'm like, I'm gonna call myself String Theory because I'm unproven. It's so cringy, but you learn from it, bro, because that only lasted me like a year, and I was like, this ain't it, bro. Yeah. Like, I'm not the lyrical. I mean, I have bars,
for sure,
but I was putting way too much pressure on myself, trying to just like, oh my god.
How'd you get Luckyuno?
Luckyuno that's a great question.
Yeah.
So it was during a phase of rebrand for myself. I was in like my last few months of college. I was like, when I move back home, there is more of a scene there than there is here,
Yeah.
and I really need to come with it. Like, excuse me, this isn't going to be sustainable to build a brand off of. So I started just kind of thinking about life, and at the time, I just always considered, like some people would call it luck,
Yeah.
and I think the lucky in my name is somewhat sarcastic.
Okay.
Because people would call me lucky, but when I was in college, people would just give me free shit, bro.
Yeah.
Like, my homeboy would get a new pair of Jordans, he would just throw me his previous pair for free.
Yeah.
And like, these are like $250 shoes. He's just like, man, you're a solid dude. Like, so lucky is kind of like sarcastic, and I think it's because people will look at it and call it luck, but they don't see that I'm just like a genuine dude that spreads love, and when you give love, love is returned.
Yeah. I want to give you stories on
let's go.
The venues that I was like always wanted to play, right? Like before I started performing, I was like, yo, I see people performing at the Poorhouse. I was like, yo, I'm gonna perform there one day. Did Poorhouse probably over 100 times, like right now.
Yeah.
That is definitely a place like where I started at. So I definitely wanted to like give that not forget where I came from as far as like, touching the Poorhouse stage,
For
right?
sure.
It's classic here, but my favorite one is definitely and King's been a goal. Like I've reached the goals around here to perform, but Lincoln Theater is one of the favorites.
And that's one on my list now. I have it's so similar, bro, because like coming in to the scene, it's so easy to put certain things on pedestals. Yeah. But I always looked at the Poorhouse as like the Madison Square Garden,
you
bro.
Feel me? Yeah.
I'm like, everybody that I look up to plays here. How do I get in this room?
For sure.
And luckily I was given opportunities by other people. Big shout out to Cooley High. I feel like that was really the turning point in me really gaining traction in the city.
Yeah.
My first sold out show. Obviously, I did not sell it out. They did. But it was the first time performing for a crowd that was just like there for it.
Yeah.
When nobody standing there with their arms crossed. It was like everybody was there for that.
For the show.
Dude, and that was like such an incredible feeling. So I agree, but the Lincoln Theater, that's on my list, bro.
You're gonna go there, bro.
That's on the list.
I only played the Lincoln Theater, well, like 3 times, but I know that sounds crazy because you like I'm like damn, I just feel bad for saying it because
nah, bro,
not to say like that, but I know you want to perform there, but I performed there 3 times, but I'm like, yo, I love this venue. It give me I don't know, it's a different vision. Like it's a lot of room up there.
The stage is
like
massive,
a playground, bro. It's like a playground. It's your playground.
But I think that's part of the luck. Is like I literally was just there, doing a 15-minute set, and it turned into me being given a date at one of the most reputable places in Raleigh.
Kings, man.
And it was just crazy. I mean, it's so crazy. And then to not only get the date, but be able to lock in like a very high caliber of artist.
Yeah.
Which was part of my thought process in No Headliner. Is like, I don't want, even though I was given the date, I don't want to come in here and have people that I think are further along. I wouldn't feel right being like, hey, open for me. So I'm like, nah, we're not going to do that. Every single person I'm going to select is a headlining talent, and then we're calling it No Headliner because even if there is a natural order of people going, the crowd is being given 4 headlining sets that are, to the T. Like, so I think that was, I just feel blessed to be able to know you, gotten to know you over the past 2 years, building a friendship, and then also being able to share stages. It's just been so sick, bro. The journey has been so sick.
The way we met up naturally.
Bro. Just built a natural rapport. Everything just works out exactly how it's supposed to. Yeah. So, okay, so your first performance, was that as Nick News or as 3 a.m.?
Definitely Nick News.
What was that like, and where was it at?
Probably the poorhouse.
The first time?
Yep.
Damn, that's awesome.
Yep. I'm not even gonna say probably. It was the poorhouse. Yeah.
And did it go? I mean, was it like a story that you tell like everything went fairly well, or was it like, oh, this was my first time? There was a few hiccups.
Definitely. Like I've seen footage and I look back and I was like, I mean, there's always I'm always critiquing myself when I look back on it's like somebody like LeBron or Kobe watching their game footage. You know what I'm saying? Like I go back and watch my performance footage and learn things from there. So yeah, like as far as being comfortable, nah, like that wasn't a thing. You know? Like nah, that wasn't the case in starting out like that. So I kind of just had to get used to it, warm myself up, and treat it like adult playground. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what we do. So like why not wild out and use that moment and use the stage just to be yourself, bro? Dude. It's amazing to see everything now, bro. Like, and it can only be bigger.
Facts.
Like this is on this scale. What we going for, bro? Like we can only come up with new ideas and new creations of our art, and we're gonna keep growing, bro.
What song of yours is like you would go listen to this and it will encapsulate who I am as an artist?
Oh, for sure. Don't Run Away. Like
I love that song.
I have to. That's and I think I got like some of the most vulnerable songs that plays like that part of me where I'm like, yo, like you went deep. You really like went deep on that song. That's the same way with Regrets, because the way I felt when I made Don't Run Away was the same way that I felt when I made Regrets.
Mm-hmm.
It was just something about the emotion state in that part. Like it just happened naturally, right? Like I just recorded without messing up, just going straight, like freestyling majority of it, because I'm like, all right, so the reason why that song came out like that is because you was having built up thoughts, and this is more so like a therapy session, and yeah, so I definitely think Don't Run Away, because, and I think that describes everybody, like what that song is about. Like it's about like things that we run away from in life, but then like I run away from anxiety. I run away from we run away from all these things, and we never really like talk about them. But then coming out at the end, like at the end of the song, it was like, have you seen the stars? That's pretty much as me escaping those thoughts. Like, all right, I ran away from the dark thoughts, you know what I'm saying, but slowly healing to being able to see the stars again. So it's like,
I love it.
Yeah, bro.
That's definitely one of my favorite songs of yours.
Yeah.
And it's also like it really enjoy like vulnerable music.
Yeah.
I think it takes a serious artist, not so like obviously people that make fun music, it's not that they're not serious, but there is something about like, not to sound too deep, but there is something about like bearing your soul and recording it and then putting it out for absolute strangers to interpret and make judgments on. It takes like you have to be cut from a certain cloth for sure to like to endure that and to be comfortable, or maybe even if you're not comfortable but still seeing it through. So if you had to say one thing to somebody who stumbles across this piece of content, they don't know me, they maybe just it happens upon their feed, what would you say to them either about the show or in general? What message would you have for them?
Definitely come out and experience amazing talent. You know what I'm saying? Like, like Drake said, come feel inspired. And you know what I'm saying? Or if you don't feel inspired, just respect what you've seen tonight. You know what I'm saying? Or, what you see. So, like, I think y'all should just come and have a good time and just come enjoy some fire music from some fire artists, bro. Like, it's
That
crazy.
part.
I don't know what's gotten inside of me. I run away from anxiety. I run away from these drugs, cause they taking over my body. I run away from the cops. Can't wait to run into the house.